Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a video for you guys where I share all of my setting powders, ranging from my favorite to my least favorite, so ones that I love and ones that I truly hate, and I'm going to give you the reasons why for each of them and the varying different ways that I use all of them as well. Some I only use under the eyes, for example, some I only use on the face, for example, and I'll give the reasons why as well. So I think I will start off with my favorites, obviously, because, you know, favorites is favorites. So this one here, the Too Faced Peach Perfect Mattifying Loose Setting Powder. This has been a godsend ever since I bought it. This is now my second one that I've bought. I recently finished my last one, the first one that I bought. This one saved me throughout the entire heat wave that we had in the UK. In the UK, for those of you that don't know, that don't live here or don't really know that much about our weather patterns, in the summer, especially right after Ramadan, thankfully, there was at least 2 months of solid sun, not a single drop of rain, and it was really, really, really hot, to the point where I actually developed an allergy to the sun, which I've still got little bumps on my arm. Really need to go to the doctors about that. But this kept my foundation in place all day. It is such a good mattifying powder, and one of the reasons why I love it so much is because it's peach coloured as well. So it does not give that white cast that especially medium and dark skin tone ladies have to suffer with when it comes to a lot of setting powders. This is definitely something that I'm going to repurchase again and again. It is a little bit more on the pricier side, but then it did last me of daily use upwards of about 3 to 4 months, so it is well worth the investment. This, like I said, is what I use to set my foundation every single day to make sure that it looks matte and fresh. The Makeup Revolution Luxury Powder in the shade Banana. This is also my second one, and I just used it recently, so it's got powder all over it. I absolutely love this to set my under eye concealer and set the concealer in the high points of my face. It's not a finely milled powder, it's quite thick and slightly chunky, but I actually prefer that when it comes to setting the under eye area, because those bigger, larger particles definitely fill out any lines under the eyes, any eyeball lines that you've got. Like me, I don't have any fine lines. However, if I was to start developing them as I get older, I know that this will kind of diffuse them and fill them out beautifully. Plus it is super affordable. I think it's like £4 or £5, and I think it's a really good value for money and an excellent product. It doesn't feel drying and it doesn't feel crepey under the eyes, which I love. Another one which I'm quite a big fan of, I don't love it and I don't hate it, but it's definitely something that is very good, is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. Now this is definitely more on the pricier side. I can't remember exactly how much it is, but I believe it's over £20, which makes it quite pricey. However, you do get quite a lot of product in here. It is 20 grams worth, which is quite a lot. But in saying that, just from looking at just the Makeup Revolution one, this is 42 grams. This one by Too Faced is 35 grams. So sorry, I take that comment back. It's actually quite deceiving, and the size of the actual product itself doesn't make you realize that it's actually only got 20 grams in it. However, the shade range of Huda Beauty's Easy Bake powders is quite big, therefore there is a shade for everybody. The problem with a lot of other setting powders, for example this Makeup Revolution one, there's 3 colors. There is translucent, there's banana, and there's deep, and that's it. At least with something like Huda Beauty, there is quite a few different shades, therefore there will be something for everybody to use. It is a very finely milled powder, and it definitely fills out the lines. It sets everything beautifully. I have used it on my face as well, but I definitely prefer to use the Too Faced one to do that. And then obviously there is that very pungent perfumey smell that comes from it. It's got a net over the top which helps you to control the amount of powder that comes out. I personally don't really like that netting. I prefer to be able to tip out as much as I can. As a result of this net, I do find it gets quite messy, but like I said, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I do still use it on a regular basis. The good old Coty Air Spun powder, which was made famous by Patrick Starr. Let's be honest, there were loads of people that just never really bothered with it. It was always for some reason in the nail section. I never understood. I didn't actually buy mine in the UK. I bought mine from New York. I bought mine from one of their drugstores out there. The first time I went there 2 years ago, I bought about 10. This is now my third one that I have used. What I like about this is that it is so versatile. It is not a translucent powder, even though the shade that I've got is called Translucent Extra Coverage. It's almost like a slightly off-white colour. And what I love about this is that it keeps everything on your face in place. It does not move, it does not budge. And oof, oh god, I'm gonna choke today, aren't I, doing this video. It's great for setting the under eye concealer, setting your foundation, for carving out your contour, for tidying up. It's very versatile and it's very affordable as well. So I really like this. My only issue with this is that when I do start to get darker over the summer months, it does make me look slightly white. I know that for some people that isn't an issue, but I've got combination skin, and sometimes when I wear a foundation in the summer months, it can make me look shinier. And then the natural human instinct when it comes to makeup is to put more powder on to stop that happening. And the more you put on, the more whiter you are going to look. So therefore, I go in with quite a light hand with this one. The Colourpop No Filter Setting Powder in the shade Banana. Absolutely love this. I've nearly finished this and I've got another one on the way. It is a completely yellow powder, like you can see. Even though they have mentioned that it is finely milled, I would definitely say if you look up close, you can see that the particles are quite large. It's very similar to the Makeup Revolution one. Now, one thing I will say about this is, despite the fact that it's only $6, it's very small. It's just got 8.5 grams. What the hell is that? Is it any wonder I've nearly finished it so quickly compared to a lot of the other ones? The Makeup Revolution one lasted me forever. So that is one of the downsides of this, is that I say that it's too small for what it is. I think that they should make this slightly larger, but yet still keeping a low price point. As we know of Colourpop, they're a more affordable brand, so I would hope that they would make this slightly larger. But in the same way that the Makeup Revolution one performs, it fills out the lines under my eyes. It's a very pigmented powder as well, which I like. So despite whatever the colour of your under eye concealer is, this will kind of neutralise it and make it a little bit more yellow, and definitely getting rid of any remainder of colour under the eyes, any darkness, and kind of doing a little bit of colour correcting at the same time. So overall, I really like this. Another one that I quite like, it kind of sits in the middle of the love-hate, is the RCMA No Colour Powder. Now this one costs about £13 in the UK. I've not used it as much as the other ones. It is very big. It's 3 ounces, which totals up as 84.98 grams. So that is pretty huge. The thing with ones like this, I find as well, is that even though it's called no colour, well, that's clearly a colour, that's white. So when I have applied it to my face, I have found that I personally see a slight ashiness over my skin. Now when I start to add bronzer, contour, blush, that sort of thing, it kind of disappears. But I have noticed that with this one as well, I do get a bit of flashback. So if you've got fairer skin, I would definitely say you would like this. Now there are quite a lot of deep skin ladies that like this too, but then it may also be that you apply less than I do, or you may have a different technique. But me personally, I don't like this one as much as I would have liked to. Now on to the ones that I don't like at all, and why. The Nye Banana Powder. Oh my god, she doesn't like it, no. And look how much I've used of it as well. That much. About a third of it I've used. That may also be something to do with the fact that I bought this before all of these, so this was the only one that I was using at the time. And surprisingly, this isn't the first one I bought, this is the second one. I had the smaller one, then I invested in the larger one. And this one is 85 grams. Now this is one of the original banana powders. Everybody and anybody copied Ben Nye when they first came out with this way back when. Now the reason that I'm not a big fan of this is I find this very drying, especially when I place it under my eyes to set my under eye concealer. Immediately I can feel the liquid of the concealer getting soaked up into the talc to the point where it's going like that to my under eye area. I brush it off, it immediately looks very dry, quite crepey, and it's created lines where I didn't have any. So you're making me look older on purpose? Like, no. And the same sort of issue I have with this one here, which is the Primark Insta Banana Powder. It performs exactly the same as the Ben Nye one. Very drying on the face, very uncomfortable, kind of grabs onto any dry patches on your face, accentuates them, makes your under eyes look crepey. Personally, not a big fan of this. I think that they were trying to obviously copy Ben Nye, as well as, well, Makeup Revolution copies everybody, so they probably copied Ben Nye too. They tried to copy Ben Nye and they did a very good job, to the point where it's as crap as that one. Last but not least, another surprising one that you guys may think is like, you don't agree with me, and that's fine, is the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. This one is a holy grail for so many people, just not me. I find that, again, it gives me similar-ish results to the RCMA No Colour Powder. I've used almost most of it. Again, I have owned this for a very long time and it's just been sat at the back of my cupboard, not touched anymore because of the same reasons as the Ben Nye one. I find that this gives me flashback. I find that people tend to overload it under the eyes, and in person they look fine. As soon as you see them either at night on camera or the flash on them, you see that white jump off of their face. And that's one reason I'm not a big fan of it. What I have been using it for is to cut my contour, to tidy up my face, and then I brush it off completely to the point where it is just a tiny bit on my skin and not too visible. So that's it for my video about my favourite and not so favourite setting powders, loose setting powders even. What are you guys' thoughts? One of you guys mentioned to me in one of my previous videos about the Hourglass Veil powder. Care to elaborate a little bit more? You guys, I think it was one or two of you who actually said to me it's really, really good, and I think it was maybe just the price that kind of put me off, because obviously, like the Makeup Revolution one, I like it so much and it's only a couple of pounds, so why should I stop using that and get something like that? Tell me. Let's share it below. Tell me what you guys like, what you don't like. I'm sure some of the ones that I hate you absolutely love. Why is it that you like them? What makes it different? I've got combination skin. Do you have dry skin? Do you have oily skin? Remember that just because I make a video saying of what my hates and what my loves are, you may not always agree with them, and that's fine, but it's always good to kind of share those experiences with other people so that they can understand your way of thinking and your viewpoint. So that's it for my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.